Can you bond as well with a parent-raised parrot as you can with a hand-raised or hand-fed parrot? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of The Parrot Bliss Bomb. Please be sure to get your copy on Amazon.com today, and also look for my new book, Get to Know African Greys and Cape Parrots. This here is Frenchie, my little parrotlet. I have over 20 species of parrots. I love my parrots. If you're used to hanging out and watching my videos, thank you so much, especially if you make me a part of your daily routine. Let's get going. So guys, when it comes to a hand-fed parrot, or so tiny, I know she's so tiny on the screen. Let's see if we can get a little closer just so that you could see her a little better, or let's back up and see if you can see Bella. There. Okay, good job, Bella. When it comes to hand raising a parrot versus parent raised, so we really have to put a third option in there as well, because some people do a hybrid of the two, and they have the babies in with the parents, but they also handle the babies so that the babies become friendly. One of the most significant things is that, Bella, leave the babies alone. Yeah, don't even look at them. Yeah, don't look at the babies. They're okay. They're okay. It's okay. Yeah. Don't you can ignore them. When we're dealing with the world of perception, and what happens is that if a baby parrot has never seen a human, then all of a sudden when they see it and they're like almost weaned, then it's a stranger, it's a strange thing. So it's a different experience than when we, for example, do pull a baby and hand feed them, because then they get used to humans, they realize that humans can be great and feed them, take care of them, and at that point the relationship can be very different. Huh, Bella? Another thing, actually, believe it or not, to keep in mind is I have really noticed with the breeding that I have done, which isn't huge, it's just, you know, when my pets breed kind of thing, I've noticed that when I have a relationship with the parents, they pass that on to their children. They let the kids know somehow or another, their babies, that, you know, like my family and I, we're good and we're not really to be feared. And so the babies tend to be more friendly. On the other hand, if I adopt an adult of some sort and they breed, they aren't as friendly with me and their babies aren't as friendly with me. Although if I take them and hand raise them and hand feed them, they're more friendly. But when the parents like me, I feel like there's another level of friendliness. So if you're getting a parrot and you have the ability to work with a breeder who's a small breeder and they really are in tune with their flock, I think it's worth paying some extra, because they're really spending the time, which they're not really getting paid for, because you just don't make enough money on selling parrots to earn a real living kind of thing, if that makes sense. Unless you have like a big farm of parrots, but then you can't really spend the time with them. So there's this certain value that really goes into someone who is really not only feeding, but like bonding in some ways with the baby parrots. Baby parrots tend to open their eyes at about 2 weeks of age. When they open their eyes, if they see humans, that's the beginning of their experience in the visual world. On the other hand, if they're parent raised, They don't see the humans, and then all of a sudden, when they're older, when they see the humans, it's a very different experience. So the question was, though, can they be as tame? Yes and no. Some of it really depends on the individual personality of the parrot. For example, Frenchie, who is so tame that she's just cuddling and hiding in my hair. She's like, I'm just going to relax here. I'm like, okay. She's so tame, and that's just her personality. She's always been super friendly. Her parents knew me and liked me, still do. I hand fed her, so she knows me real well. But not all of my parrotlets that I hand fed are as tame as she is. She was extra interested in being with us. So sometimes it's just an individual parrot's personality. Other times these other factors really affect it, whether or not, the human spent time with them, or, that kind of thing. So it's kind of not a straight answer because it depends on some other factors, including really the parrot species and also the individual parrot's personality. Now, a third factor that is huge and really significant is you. Because I have heard stories from people where they found a macaw, a baby macaw, after a hurricane and raised the macaw, or not even, I think not even exactly a baby, raised the macaw, really spent the time with them, and really created a very strong bond. The number one ingredient that can trump everything else I've talked about is time. When you spend a lot of time with a parrot, especially a parrot that's more social, then they tend to really be able to bond with you. There are some species that are more social than others, and that's going to be a factor. A macaw can be very social because they do form a bond with, generally speaking, one other macaw, even though they have a flock. So some of it is the species, but when you spend a lot of time with your parrot, it makes a really big difference. So I wouldn't be afraid of getting a parent-raised parrot, but I would understand that I don't have that leg up. They're not already used to people, and that does make a difference. That does mean it's going to take me more time to really be with them and to start to create that bond. Thank you for joining me in this blissful, loud video. Sorry about the noise. I always try to not be in the house so that the birds don't make noise. But it's a little chilly after the hurricane, so I'm trying to stay warm. Thanks for joining me. I will catch you in the next feathered video.